From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, emergency crews are battling a scrub fire which has broken out in South Hill just outside Wamaru. The 25 firefighters and a helicopter are working to extinguish the 100 square metre blaze which appears to be burning up the cliff face. A fire and emergency spokesperson says the fire is believed to be under control, but they've evacuated the immediate area for public safety. The spokesperson says no structures are threatened. Police are working to identify a body a member of the public found in the water north of Muriwai Beach on Auckland's west coast today. The find, about 20 to 11 this morning, comes 4 days after a person who's still missing was swept off the rocks at Piha south of Muriwai. The Prime Minister-elect has had some subtle criticism from Labour's leader over how long it's taking him to form a government. Chris Hipkins today called for a ceasefire in Gaza, making it clear he was doing so as Labour leader, not caretaker Prime Minister. Mr Hipkins says New Zealand's 5 weeks out from a general election and still the shape of the government's no clearer and there's still no end in sight.
The fact that we are now 5 weeks out from a general election and the shape of the government is no clearer and there is no end in sight to those negotiations.
But Chris Luxon says pulling together a good deal takes time.
We have some serious issues that need to be resolved. They do take time and we've got to work our way through them.
The belief the Prime Minister-elect, Chris Luxon, should have been at the APEC summit in San Francisco. Days of meetings involving ministers and world leaders were ultimately dominated by a meeting between US President Joe Biden and China's Xi Jinping. Caretaker Trade Minister Damien O'Connor represented New Zealand at the event because of a government not yet being formed. Former Intelligence and Defence Policy Analyst Dr Paul Buchanan says if not Mr Luxon, it should have been Chris Hipkins attending.
It certainly wouldn't have mattered to the coalition partners. Winston Peters has been a foreign minister. He knows these things are important. Just said, look, let our teams negotiate while Luxon goes off.
That's news. In sport, Novak Djokovic will meet hometown favourite Jannik Sinner in tomorrow morning's final at the ATP Tennis in Turin. Craig Gabriel reports.
Novak Djokovic should be trying to win a record 7th title at the ATP Finals. Right now he's locked in a tie with Roger Federer, and for Djokovic it's all about his history in the game. Jannik Sinner, playing in the biggest final of his young career, came through the tournament undefeated, having won his semi in 3 sets and all 3 of his round-robin matches, one of which was a 7-5, 6-7, 7-6 victory over Djokovic. Djokovic, however, leads their overall head-to-head 3-1. Sinner is the first Italian to reach this final ever.
First serves at 6 in the morning. Australia will be turning to their World Cup veterans for guidance ahead of tonight's Cricket World Cup final with India in Ahmedabad. Batsman David Warner and Steve Smith and bowlers Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood helped the Australians lift the trophy in 2015. That's sport. I'm Joe Gilfillan.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.